So today I will show you how to easily implement a localization workflow with any content management system thanks to Wordbee Beebox. But first I'd like to present you in a few words our company. So at Wordbee, we develop and provide translation technologies such as Wordbee Translator, which is a translation management system meant to ease the management of your translation projects. This tool has an integrated translation interface for translators to connect and perform their jobs. We also developed Wordbee Beebox, which is a smart connector meant to easily have content management systems translated. Okay, now our company is based in Luxembourg and was founded in 2008. And our clients are both public and private companies located all over the world. So our main topic today is how to easily have content management systems translated. And as every growth-oriented company needs translations, you need smart and effective tools to remove the technical barriers of the translation process. The proverb says, "Can't read, won't buy." And actually, Common Sense Advisory report has shown that 56% of consumers think that having access to information in their mother tongue is more important than the price when making a purchase decision. This shows the importance of translations if you want to reach new markets. And as you need your web content to be translated as soon as possible, but also because your translation needs are recurring, automation becomes indispensable. And we'll see that thanks to Wordbee Beebox, you'll be able to automate your translation process. So, as I was saying, in today's fast-paced global environment, with new content needing to be translated across multitude of customer-facing applications, you'll agree with me that quick response is paramount. And with data sitting in multiple places, so from Dropbox, Google Docs, FTP, content management systems, bringing it all together to localize in a manageable way was next to impossible before Wordbee Beebox. So Wordbee Beebox, as you can see here in this picture, is a middleware that stands between web content and a translation team or translation management system, like Wordbee Translator, for instance. So Wordbee Beebox technology removes the technical barriers to translating content and save time analyzing, reformatting, and preparing content for translation. Beebox filters content, finding the unique content, removing duplicates, and checking it against what has been already translated. And once the content is translated, it pushes it back right where it belongs. So right now we provide plugins for multiple content management systems like WordPress, Drupal, Kantico, Episerver, Adobe Experience Manager, Sitecore, Typo3, and Joomla, and more plugins to come. Okay, Wordbee Beebox connects to any proprietary content management systems, and we will focus on this today. Okay, and Wordbee Box also connects to any file sharing systems like Box, Dropbox, Copy, and Google Drive. Okay, so it can be interesting to connect Beebox to file sharing systems like Box, Dropbox, in the sense that if you're working with in a company with different departments, and they do not centralize their translation requests, and they're in contact with different vendors. Therefore, they do not benefit from pre-translation discounts and from translation consistency. So a simple answer is pooling translation requests to a single provider. So you can connect their Dropbox system to Beebox, which will link to one a unique translation vendor, and therefore they will benefit from translation consistency and pre-translation discounts. So the benefits of the Wordbee Beebox, well, it's a very light implementation without IT resources. You'll obtain substantial cost reduction. Wordbee Beebox remembers the translations and pre-filters content so that only new content arrives at translation vendor, and you have less manual work. Improved translation quality and consistency. Faster project turnaround times. Wordbee Beebox analyzes and prepares content for translation very, very rapidly. So it's really good to use for high volume projects, for instance. You can implement the workflows of your choice. Okay, so you really decide of the workflow to use for your translation. So if you want machine translation plus post editing jobs, meaning that post editors will modify the results of machine translation, it is something you can configure. If you just want a human translation, you can configure also. You can configure human translation. And in a more general sense, you configure the workflow you want. Okay, and you will have an overall control, so language asset ownership and complete transparency. And finally, one Beebox handles multiple content sources. So you can imagine to have one Wordbee Beebox and connect it to multiple content management systems, for instance. So if you have any questions after this presentation, please do not hesitate to send them to us by writing us an email at sales@wordbee.com. So I propose that we now start the demo. So I am going to show you how to translate. So let me show it. Should be able to see my screen now. Just a quick second. Okay, so as I explained, so with Wordbee Beebox, you can connect Wordbee Beebox to any homemade CMS. Okay, so it means that we do not have plugins for these homemade CMS, but you'll be able to use what we call hot folder systems. Okay, so the idea is that you create a project in Wordbee Beebox in which you will indicate the source language and the target language or target languages, and you will also decide of a workflow. So if you want a human translation and if you want to link your project to the translation vendor of your choice, this is possible. You'll be able to do it in Wordbee Beebox. So yeah, you just need to configure the workflow and decide of who should do the translation, or you can also configure machine translation if you want. And the idea is that you will have what you can see here on my computer. You will have two folders. So one in folder and one out folder. So you will put the files to translate in the in folder, and you will be able to retrieve the translations in the out folder. As simple as that. Okay, so the idea for the homemade content management systems is that you should just export the different contents to translate and then put them in the in folder. If you want more automation, this is completely feasible. You will just have to, if you have IT knowledge, you'll be able to use the open API of the Beebox and develop the API so that when you select content from your CMS, it will be automatically sent to the in folder, okay, of the Beebox project. So this is feasible. You can also develop PowerShell scripts. So we have a complete documentation regarding this topic. So if you need more information, please send us an email. So what I'm going to do now is to put some content in the in folder. And actually, for the purpose of this demonstration, I've configured things so that the content I put in the in folder goes automatically at my translation vendor via its translation management system. Okay, so I'm going to select a document and put it in the in folder. So I simply put it here, and it will arrive. It will be automatically sent to my translation vendor, which uses Wordbee Translator. So the translation vendor has just received an email notification saying that I just sent new content and it needs to be translated. Well, of course, for the purpose of the demonstration, I've configured machine translation, okay? Because I didn't want to translate everything, so I just simply configured machine translation. So here we can see that the translation vendor has received new jobs sent via Beebox. Okay, and in my Beebox project, I've configured 3 target languages, so French, German, and Spanish. So I'm going to open the French job so the vendor can accept the job and can perform it using the translation interface of Wordbee Translator. Okay, so you can see that the content has been machine translated. Okay, you can see it by seeing the empty logo. Okay, so if I hadn't configured machine translations, the segments on the right hand side would have been empty, okay, and the translator will have had to translate every segment. Okay, so once the translation is completed, the translator will be able to mark his job as completed, and I will be able to retrieve my document translated into French. It is really as simple as that. And I will have to put these translations back into my CMS. And again, if I want more automation, we provide an open API. Okay, so now I'm going to, well, it may take just one minute or two for the Beebox to send the translated document back in the out folder. Okay, so it is just 1 minute. You can actually configure if you want the Beebox to retrieve the translated files every 30 minutes, every 1 hour, etc. It's really up to you also to configure that part. So we will now check the check the add folder to see if we can retrieve our translations. Okay, so now if I double click on the out, I can see that my document was translated into French. Okay, so I can also show you the source document. It was the exact same document but in English. So again, it is really simple. So now let's imagine that I have modified the source document. Okay, I've modified the content of my CMS and I now want to send everything back to translation. The Beebox will then analyze what has been modified and will only send this part for translation. So let me show you this part. So I'm now going to send a new document. So I put my new document in the in folder and I will now again connect as the translation vendor will now receive this new job. So we may just wait 10 seconds for the job to arrive at the translation vendor. And we will see that the Beebox has just sent the modified content or the new content. So I may show you. So in version 2, I have simply added this section. So actually, Wordbee Beebox will analyze that only this section needs to be translated. Okay, so because only this section has been modified, and it will send the sections plus some sentences before and after so that the translator can understand the context, okay, of the new sentence. Okay, so we received new jobs. We can accept and we will see that only these two segments, I just need to translate these two segments. Okay, and you can see that the Beebox has also sent the context of these new sentences, and you can actually configure how much sentences before and after you want the translator to receive, and these context segments are locked. Okay, so the translator cannot modify them. Okay, you can have a look at it but not modify it. You cannot enter the segment to modify it. So you don't have to wonder anymore, what sections I have modified in my CMS. You can simply export all the content and put it in your in folder. The Beebox will very rapidly analyze what needs to be translated. And then it is the same process, so the translator can translate these two segments. Here it is automatically done by machine, and just so you know, you can see some words in red because the spell check is automatically launched when I receive new content for translation. So then it is the same process. I will retrieve the translated file when the translator marks his job as completed. So when I can see job completed, it means that I'll be able to retrieve my translated content in just 1 minute in the out folder on my desktop. So you see, it is really simple. I just mentioned in my PowerPoint presentation that you can also connect Wordbee Beebox to any file sharing system. And I just wanted, because we have 5 minutes left, I wanted to show you how it works. So at Wordbee, we use, for example, the copy file sharing system. So what you can do is to link Beebox to folders in your copy instance. Like, if I can show you, going to connect to my copy instance. Okay, so you can see I have the copy file sharing system, and I've created my own project in which I have a need in and out folder. So as I said, it's really interesting to use the integration between Wordbee and the file sharing systems if you're working for a company with different departments that regularly request translations, so that they can benefit from discounts, okay, and from translation consistency, because you'll be able to link Beebox to one translation provider, for instance. And if the idea again is that the Beebox already remembers all the translations, so if different people send translation requests, they will benefit from the translations from other persons, maybe in their own department or from people in other departments in the company. So it is, again, very simple. You just link your Wordbee Beebox to two folders in your copy or box or Dropbox instance. And then here it is the same process. You will just place in the out folder the documents that you want to translate, and you will retrieve the translated files in the out folder. So let me show you. I have configured machine translation just for the purpose of the demonstrations, because we have just 3 minutes left. So I'm going to select a document. Okay. So I copy a document and I place it in the out folder. So just so you know, I have linked these folders to a Beebox project in which I have decided that I just wanted a French translation. Okay, so I've placed a document which is in English, and I've just configured machine translations so that I will be able to retrieve a French file instantly. Okay, and if later on I've just forgotten that I have sent this file for translation, if I place it again in the in folder, it will the French version will automatically appear in the out folder, because again the Beebox remembers that this document has already been translated. So I'm now going to open the question box. So if you have any questions, please, you can either send it to me via the question box, or if you have questions later on, you'll be able to send us an email at sales@wordbee.com. So I am now going to open the question box. So is it possible to have Beebox configured such that all content arrives at the translation vendor and not only the new content? So again, the idea of the Beebox is that it remembers the translations. You can, as I've shown, you can decide of the context that should be sent with the new content, how much sentences before and after the new content. So you can decide to send one sentence before and after to 5 sentences before and after. But it will be it for the context. The idea is that you just pay for the new content, for new translations. But in general, if you configure new content with 5 sentences before and after, it's enough for the translator to understand the context. So how does it remember all files a file was translated? It will remember because it will see that it has all the translations. Okay, Beebox remembers translation. So if the Beebox analyzes the file and it sees that it contains, the Beebox has already all the translations, it will generate the file automatically. So if you've configured a workflow with human translation, a job will not be sent at the translation vendor. It will regenerate the translated file immediately. So I can wait 1 more minute if you have other questions. So for an updated file, is the new file generating by using TM? Well, yes, in a sense, yes. If you, like I've shown you, I've sent a first version of a document and then I have sent a second version, and in the second version some text was modified. Then the Beebox actually in a sense pre-translates from the translations that were already done for the first document and only send the new sentences for translation. So in a sense, yes, it is pre-translations because it remembers all the translations, so it can compare the last version from the new with the new version. So thank you very much for your time today. If you have questions later on, we'll wait for them via email. I repeat, you can send us your question at sales@wordbee.com, and you will receive the recording of today's session via email in 2 days. Thank you very much again for your time. Bye-bye, everyone.